Trump is currently cornering the Democrats on the Clarity Act. And guys, I think this dramatically increases the chance that this thing is going to pass in September. In this video, I want to talk about exactly why, as well as go over a massive hack taking place right now. Guys, make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see that. It is super important for you to understand. Is your XRP safe? Guys, like always, you're supporting me so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who likes and subscribes. And that's it, let's jump right into it. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. Because I want to start out this video and just share something interesting quick that actually just popped up on my screen. The National Bank of Canada is now disclosing that they have exposure to the XRP ETFs. Super exciting to see. It just shows how these ETFs are increasing institutional adoption. And guys, we are in the very early stages, but I think there's a world where these massive banks globally are all holding XRP exposure, especially as XRP gets significantly more institutional adoption, which I think things like the Clarity Act are going to unlock. It's a really good sign that these large institutions are looking at XRP differently. Now, this has been one of my theses for a while because I've worked with a lot of financial institutions. And the thing that always comes in clear is the fact that they are looking for things for utility. They're not looking for the speculative pieces. They're not looking for the meme coins. They're not looking for the NFTs. They're not even really focused on DeFi. They are focused on how can cryptocurrency make the financial services that they deal with on a daily basis better. And that is exactly what Ripple's business is built around. Guys, the vast majority of retail and crypto today has no financial services experience. And that's why they are hyper-focused on things like DeFi, things like meme coins, things like NFTs, things that are really interesting and cool to them. And that's where a lot of the market volume and the market's eyes have been for the history of the cryptocurrency market. But guys, the biggest, most important players have not entered yet. And I predict that they're going to have a different focus than the people of the first generation of the cryptocurrency market. And guys, I think this is a telling sign of that. These financial institutions are looking for something not that made sense to the crypto bro of the 2015 to 2020 era. What they're looking for is something new. They're looking to define their own thesis. And I believe XRP is going to be one of the things that to them makes cryptocurrency make sense. I know when I first got into crypto, I was looking at all these different things. And there's a lot of cool and interesting stuff out there, but very little to me that really seemed like it was actually going to cause a lasting impact in the world from a technology perspective. I was studying a lot of different companies. I was studying a lot of different technologies, and a lot of them were extremely interesting. But the thing to me that no other technology really had a way to disrupt was the way value moves inside our financial system. Cryptocurrency was the proposed solution, but it didn't seem like a lot of the projects really had what it took to make a dent in that Goliath of a financial system, that massive mess, that broken infrastructure. It just seemed like all these other chains were chasing something so much smaller. Ripple was the first company that I saw. The XRP ledger was the first technology that I thought had their focus in the right place. Building infrastructure for where the money moves. Guys, I believe that is going to resonate very well with large financial institutions, and I expect this XRP exposure only to increase, with the ETFs being a very important vehicle for that. With that said, I want to move on to the Clarity Act. Guys, right now the CFTC and SEC are essentially saying that they're going to start making rules for the cryptocurrency industry. And I believe this is at the direct directive of Trump to push Democrats to approve the Clarity Act. This is the logic here. The Democrats have had a lot of say in the Clarity Act. They've gotten a lot of their wishes added because Republicans want to pass it so badly. But now they're stalling at the last minute to finally get it over the finish line. Essentially, what the Trump administration is doing is they're telling the CFTC and SEC, go make rules. Go make rules that the market has to follow. That's going to give us market clarity. That's going to give us definitions and the institutional guardrails we need to take that next step in the cryptocurrency market. Is it as good as federal ruling? No, because another administration could come in and take over the SEC and CFTC and make them change the rules, but it's still pretty good, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, this is arguably much worse for Democrats because there doesn't have to be a compromise here. Republicans hold more chairs in the SEC and CFTC. so they can rubber stamp whatever they want. Democrats are not going to want this to take place because suddenly the bill that they've gotten a lot of say on is now essentially going to be trumped by a new bill created solely at the discretion of the Republicans. I believe this is going to force Democrats to the finish line. And what we're seeing right now is there's a lot of positivity that those 60 votes will be there for September 15th. So let me just summarize it this way, guys. The Democrats have had a lot of say in what they want into the clarity bill, and almost all of it's been adopted. If they continue to delay, they run the risk of the Trump administration just making their own rules through the CFTC and SEC. Trump is essentially putting them in a corner. Either adopt the Clarity Act and get the things you want, or put yourself in a position where you get nothing you want and Trump's administration makes the rules on their own. Guys, I believe Democrats were able to delay for a certain amount of time, but I don't think it's going to last much longer. I think a lot of them are going to be forced to capitulate here because what they know is that the rules they put forward are likely going to be better, for them at least, than what the Trump administration is going to push forward through the SEC and CFTC, where they don't have the same capacity to inject the legislation they want in there. Really, really smart move. Honestly, this can go either way now. Whether or not Democrats just stay stubborn and refuse to accept it, we're getting the clarity we need from these agencies. But I think the more likely scenario here is that they end up folding over and just say, you know what? We'd rather have the clarity bill. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's better than the Trump administration getting free reign. With that said, guys, I want to finish this video off and cover one last thing that I think is super important right now. We're currently watching a pretty massive hack on the Corium chain. Now, Corium is essentially an XRP DeFi platform that allows you to bridge XRP over to this platform and do different things in DeFi. Now, what we're seeing is a bridge was recently hacked that brought XRP to Corium, resulting in over 200,000 XRP being drained. I want to say something that's very important here. Bridges are essentially proving to be completely unsecure. Bridges are breaking everywhere. And guys, it only seems to be happening at a faster rate with AI. I think it's really important that everyone takes a step back and thinks about the risk they take on when they're engaging with any of these DeFi activities. DeFi has a ton of promise, and I think it's going to be one of the most important innovations in the future. But it's clearly not ready yet. And not a lot of people understand that when they go after some of these yields on some of these chains, they're essentially putting their entire bag of XRP at risk. The truth is making yield now is nice. It's a nice to have, but who cares at this low price XRP? I mean, the time where it really gets exciting is fun and is at the higher priced XRPs. That's when the yield actually matters. Right now, the main goal should be asset protection and appreciation. The truth is we've seen massive flaws now in both the DeFi market and the self-custody market, with Cold Card going down, which is one of the most respected cold wallets on the entire cryptocurrency market. Guys, understand we're in the extremely early days, and these things are never easy and they're never fun, but they define where the future is going to be built. I believe all of this really paves the way for Ripple's strategy. Ripple has not gone into these DeFi markets like a lot of these other projects because Ripple knows they're simply not ready. Even if a financial institution wanted to adopt DeFi technology, they just couldn't because there's not the KYC, AML, or appropriate regulations. While the rest of the cryptocurrency market built it anyway for retail participants who didn't care about financial institutions, Ripple focused on getting money transmitter licenses, getting banking licenses, and installing code into the XRP ledger to allow financial institutions to use it compliantly. A lot of people, I think it's just one big race to see who does it first. But guys, the truth is that works with some technology, but not financial technology. Even if there was the capability for every financial institution to get 30% a year on any given blockchain, they're simply not going to do it unless the regulations are there. And the rest of the cryptocurrency market, they didn't focus on this because they thought these financial institutions were going away anyway. I think this Corium hack, I think what's happening with Cold Card shows one clear thing. These financial institutions are going to need help. And they're going to need a trusted counterparty that builds cryptocurrency solutions the same exact way that Amazon built web services for financial institutions and other institutions that needed access to the internet. Ripple is opening the gateway with trust, with regulation, and with licenses to prove they're the real deal. When it comes to the big financial institutions stepping into this market with trillions of dollars, guys, I don't think they're going to be going after the solution with 3 developers offshore with no recourse, no legislation, no regulations, and no certification. I believe Ripple really stands on their own in this light. And I know a lot of people who come from the crypto bro segment of the market have a hard time seeing this. But guys, the truth is the players coming in don't care about them. In fact, they probably want to do the opposite of them. They want to be able to go to their boards and go to their investors and say, hey, you know, we found something new and we think the rest of the cryptocurrency market has that wrong. I believe XRP, the strategy Ripple has taken, the way they go about business is going to be a massive appeal to the financial institutions out there. Guys, this is just another example. The cryptocurrency market is new. It's young. We're going to have stuff like this, but it further confirms that Ripple's strategy has been right since day one. And guys, this is why right now one of the biggest pushes for the XRP ledger is to bring lending and borrowing on chain. The truth is all of these things can be built directly into the XRP ledger code base, and it's coming. No bridging, no DeFi risk, institutional DeFi at the XRP ledger's layer 1 protocol. Guys, your XRP is probably one of the more valuable assets you have. But as soon as you move it onto another blockchain, you lose the security of the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger has been up and running for 14 years with a perfect track record. No other blockchain can say that. And the truth is as these features come native to the XRP ledger, that's going to be a massive appeal. That's going to be an institutional offering. And I think a lot of these DeFi solutions that came and went and had these offers that ultimately fell apart or there was hacks, I think that's going to end up looking like the Napster or LimeWire of the early internet days. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. For now, Mickle out.